Welcome to Couch Cocktails. I'm Jenny. Today we have a very special episode. We will be making a cult classic cocktail that I've had so many requests to make this drink. And I really wanted to make it in a way that you guys, you didn't have to have 3 bottles at home. And so I thought about it and I thought, you know what? This cocktail is too good to not have on this channel. And depending on what you have at home, there's a lot of different ways to make a Negroni. So, I mean, you can definitely mix it up. It's pretty hard to mess this recipe up. And just kind of playing around with what you have at home, you will need a bottle of sweet vermouth. This is gonna bring in some kind of sweeter, more herbaceous, delightful notes. If you want to start making more stirred drinks at home, like Manhattan, you'll need a bottle of this. So I would definitely recommend it in investing one of these. And once you do open it, don't forget to keep it in the fridge. So for the bitter component, we're going with Campari. It's the classic kind of Italian red bitter liqueur. There are other brands available, so don't feel like you need to use Campari in this one. But the classic gorgeous red color kind of comes from that. And if you want to kind of stick to the classic, go with this bottle. And then in terms of spirit, you can truly use whatever spirit you have at home. Gin is the classic. It's pretty flexible, okay? So don't think that you need to buy gin because this recipe has inspired so many riffs, and if you just kind of stick to the classic structure and play around with it, it's pretty hard to end up with something that isn't delicious. Truly, the Negroni is the classic. It's inspired the Boulevardier with bourbon. It's inspired the Old Pal with Canadian rye. You can toss tequila in, mezcal, rum, really make it your own and kind of use whatever base spirit you have at home or whatever you like the best. It's actually a really great cocktail if you are wanting to start getting into, more stirred, more spirit forward, bitter cocktails. This is a great starting point to start getting into that. And you don't have to keep, the classic equal parts. If it's a little bit too bitter for you to start off, you can start with a little bit extra vermouth or a little bit less of the bitter component and just play around with whatever balance you like. And truly, just make it in a way that you will enjoy it. Take the recipe and get inspired, because this is a cult classic for a reason. If you happen to live in Edmonton, I've actually teamed up with Above Average Drinks and we're selling a gorgeous Negroni trio. We've got 3 Negronis that have been inspired by this classic recipe. I will put the link in the description for you guys to check that out. Also supporting a really great local restaurant, Spiera. Be sure to check that out. But if you want to learn how to make one of these delightful concoctions at home, hop on the couch and let's whip one up. Now to get started, since we'll be stirring this one, you'll need a mixing glass. You can use a mason jar or a pint glass even if you don't have one of these fancy things, so no worries there. And then super easy, it's equal parts, very easy to remember. So we're gonna start off, you can really start wherever you want. I'll start with the gin. And once again, there's so many ways to make a delicious Negroni. You don't have to use gin. You can use truly whatever you want, whatever you have at home. It's pretty hard to mess this one up. So I'm gonna go 1 ounce. So we're going 1, 1, 1, nice and easy. We've got our Campari. There are other brands as well, but Campari really kind of led the pack when it came to bringing the Negroni back into popularity. So nice Campari, we'll do 1 ounce. And then some sweet vermouth. And this is really gonna bring that kind of herbaceousness out in the Campari. It's gonna add a little bit of sweetness too, because the Campari is nice and bitter, Also has a little bit of sweetness and fruitiness too. And this is just gonna play really nicely with that. And then of course gin with its gorgeous botanicals, like, it's just a very nice intermingling of flavors. So we've got equal parts, nice and easy, and I'm just gonna toss in some ice. Depending on what size ice you're using, you might want to stir it a little bit more or a little bit less. These are pretty big cubes, so it's not going to dilute as quickly. So I'm going to stir it for maybe like 45 seconds. You can use a teaspoon as well if you don't have one of these fancy spoons. A big part of stir drinks is just, you know, the act of stirring it and preparing it. So if you really think you're going to be making a lot of Negronis at home, or you want to start getting into stirred drinks, old fashions, martinis, it's worth definitely investing in a nice bar spoon. And then you can practice your stir at home. It really should be all in the wrist. You shouldn't be moving your hand or your arm around too much like this. And then basically you just want to keep the back of the spoon kind of gliding along the inside edge of the mixing glass. And then just strain it over some fresh ice. And I'm using a large cube of ice because that way it won't dilute as quickly, so I can enjoy it for a little bit longer and kind of keep that nice balance. And now I'm taking an orange peel. You can also just toss in an orange slice if you'd like, and then getting those really nice orange essential oils around the outside edge of the glass, so that when you go to take a sip, you get that orange like pow in your face. And it really does help to add to the flavor and bring out those citrus notes in the Campari. And then just gonna give a little twist and pull and just lay it on top. And that is a classic Negroni. Cheers.